Hi, ladies and gentlemen, this is Eddie Marcus again. I advocate for the basic human rights for all people, for every human being that comes on the face of this earth. Just like the trees are made to do what they do. Humans come on this earth just as protected in their purpose as are the trees. Sometimes a tree can be infected with a bug, something that we have been recently made familiar with. And similarly, the same can happen to humans that gets a bug that takes them away from the path of life. And for that reason, you find me speaking to where that might exist. I want you to know that because that's my heart. That's real to me. Above that, I am also a social scientist for whatever that might mean for people who consider education as being important in what your pursuits might be. And I think that operating under that banner for 50 or 60 years will give me a little bit of insight about some realities that should be common amongst us. But I want you to know that that's where I speak. I'm not speaking for the law. I'm not speaking for any superior power beyond what has been developed here. So I say this to you because I'm not asking you to believe me or disbelieve me. I'm just sharing with you some facts as an advocate. We've lived in some rough times, always, and many of us can try to find ways to explain why these things happen. And while we give it our best shot, we still miss it. You see, we try to divide things up. Excuse me. We try to divide things up, and by so doing, we weaken its existence. For instance, at a rally, you can have 1,000 people come to a rally. But rather than being able to just sum the totality of that rally into an easy expression that people can remember, that is more relative to the cause and yet the people. No, they come with all of their different problems, different. And again, if we got 1,000 people, we can assume for this purpose that each one has 1,000 different signs of what their concerns are. That gives the aggressor, that gives the cause of the problem more power rather than consolidating. So, what am I saying? This is what I had wanted to talk to you about people, generally people. I wanted to tell you that white people, according to Elijah Muhammad, the young man who taught Malcolm X, that white people were devils. And he called them devils, knowing that they were human beings because of the things that they would do, the things that they allowed themselves to do. And without me mentioning those specifics, many as they are, I would mention the fact of slavery. Nothing could have gotten any worse than that. And to that degree, he saw them as devils. Devils because they existed so far away from the plan of the master, God. I think he might have called him Allah. Anyway, to focus on that would be diminishing the cause. You see, the truth of the matter is this. A post was made and it described heaven's master plan for human beings. It was posted, and after being posted for several months, you look back and it had 38 views. On the other hand, daily stuff disassociated with anything relative to what the real plan is, which encompassed all of existence, that which others do and don't do, and it just wasn't received. Now, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to take more of your time. On this earth is evil. Now, you know that evil exists at the hands of many, many people, but at the same time, many, many, many people do not put their hands in the activities of evil. Nope, they don't have anything to do with it. Yet, the truth of the matter is, as long as whatever evil exists, all of the people are responsible. If you're there, if you are alive, you are responsible for the pain and suffering that others endure. And that is all over the earth. What in essence is happening? You know, you've been taught about hell. You've been taught about if you don't do right, well, where it's different depending upon where you're at. But for here, the West, there's a special place that you'll burn up. And I want you to know, don't focus on that yet. You can focus on that later. Let's focus on the hell that you're already in. That means we, the people, all over this earth, are agents of hell. We are agents of hell. When Netanyahu and so-called Israel bombing Gaza, killing those people, that's a form of the hell that is taking place there. That's, oh yeah, the guy that's causing the guy that's in power, he is on the high seat of evil. He didn't know it, and or he does, but the people don't know it. They hate, but they've been taught to accept what they have been taught to accept, and this includes what they're accepting. Now, you look over in Russia, you see what they're doing to the Ukrainians. Doesn't matter. Just like Netanyahu, they're both sitting on that same old stool, riding high, agents, master forces for evil. And the people giving it all the power it needs to go forward because they don't know that what they are doing is wrong and that there's something better. They don't know anything about this. Now, rather than just go all over the world describing the different parts that takes place in this hell on earth, let's look at America. As I mentioned earlier, slavery, you can't get any worse than that, but America was fine with that. They were fine with that. Always have been fine with that. And when it seems as if they wanted to change something, the sentiment was that people wanted to change because they didn't like what it reflected. They symbolized a change, but kept it in another way up until this very day. This is a major part of hell. And it's all by the people who have been called devils. It makes it seem as if black people are children of God and know it. Because could black people be as evil as white people have shown themselves and are still being? Of course they could. But for some strange reason, they are not. Are they avoid for any of this type of activity? Sure, they are not. This takes place in the white and black community, in the black world, but nothing as evil as this. And look how long it's been going on since the beginning, since the first lie. And nobody really knows what that first lie was, but we darn sure know what the lie has been and where it is. And so, what I want you to know, ladies and gentlemen, is this: all over the earth is hell on earth. There's no place you can call sitting on the hill a, a light for the darkness. There's no place on earth that can be called. Now, you have people might walk around saying that they are the greatest. You might have people walking around saying that no one is above them. You might hear that, but that's a lie as well. It's just encompassing the same lie that's been going on all the while. Now, what am I saying? I'm saying that you were given. And when I say you were given, it means that every last one of you had laid before you the pathway that leads to peace, prosperity, and freedom, and joy and happiness. An opportunity to really on earth in these bodies live the dream. Yeah, live the dream. That really meant changing this hell on earth and making it the heaven that you want it to be, which is reflected in what you were committed to give to get what you say you want. All there before you. Now, what is being said, you might want don't want to accept this, but I will tell you the truth. It freedom and heaven on earth requires that you commit your life. That means you represent the standards that will produce it. And hell on earth is not going to make you change it. And there might be times when you have to be killed, just like Dr. King and so many others that were killed for standing for what is right. That's the price you are willing to pay eagerly. Why? Because it really substantiates that you are not playing. It substantiates there's no shame in your game. It says to the world that you were for everybody, just like you are for yourself. And you're not going to change for anything. And if they threaten to kill you because you decide to be a good, wonderful, loving person, then take you away. Take me away. You'd be willing to go just like that. So what I'm saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, if you knew this was hell, and if you knew that you could have your needs, your wants, and your desires met at your leisure, if you knew that you never have to suffer for nothing, food, clothing, shelter, education, health care, transportation, and anything that's made at the hands of man, because what you have learned is that the resources that are used to do the things that are done are made free as this earth is that we live on. And it is produced so that the people could have those resources necessary that they could do, cause a manifestation, create whatever it is that they desire. Freedom, my Lord, to be an expression of that which you love, and your greatest reward is the joy that comes from it. And you get 38 views, and you got in America people being put in Alcatraz thing. They talk about alligators, talking about putting 3,000 people, taking away all their basic human rights, taking it away from them, putting them in cages, locking them away. No human decency whatsoever. And this activity is done by those same white people that a long time ago was called devils. And they're still acting just like devils. And you, the American people, and you, the people of the world, see this being done to other human beings. And it happens every day. And you say, well, I'm not supporting it. You're darn right you're not supporting it. You're giving it every lifeblood you got because it continues daily. And you're doing what to stop it? Not a dog blasted thing. So that means that you're under the bondage of evil. Now you got to admit it. You're under the bondage of evil. Because if you weren't and you knew the truth, you'd stand up against those evil like the hurricanes when they get ready to come. You could talk about dropping bombs in them, but it's not going to do nothing but spread the hurricane. That's all. So I want you to know that the life that we're living, I don't care what level we've chosen or where we've been placed, it's all a part of hell. And it's going to be a part of hell until it changes for all people, until it changes for all people, until the rest of us say, hey, if one person is going through changes, if one person is going through suffering, if one person is going through pain, that means it represents us. And I be damn if I'm going to set myself up with that kind of cancer. Now, if I can end that now by standing up for truth, I stand for truth now. I'm not waiting. I'm asking that the words that I speak to you are just a reflection of who I am. Sometimes I might have said in the past that this might have been from God because I can see God doing nothing worse than that junk I tell you. And what the junk I tell you is the purest that I can be up to this point. So that in essence, that means God supports it. Now, I've shared with you. I want to thank you so very much for listening. I don't know what it means to you, but it means the world that Anybody that heard, you know that you were told this is hell compared to what has been prepared for you. And this is what you, whether you chose it or not, you've accepted it. And it'll stay until you change it either way. Goodbye.